Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to film just my everyday makeup for you. This isn't anything special. I'm not claiming to know anything special or really anything about makeup, but sometimes I think it's just nice to see a real person that you know putting on their makeup so you can see what like real people use versus beauty gurus. Not that, I mean, I watch them all the time, but I don't know, sometimes I think they're a little intimidating for some people, so I'm just coming at you. It's real simple, real easy, real basic. So I'm just gonna dig right in. Excuse me. So I start with a clean, moisturized face. And then the first thing I do is put some lip balm on and leave it on for the entirety of me getting ready. I really like the Vaseline Lip Therapy. This is the pink bubbly flavor. So just put some of that on. And I put kind of a lot on because I want my lips to be really hydrated. It's just a good way to start your day with good hydrated lips, especially if you're going to put on a lipstick or a liquid lipstick, which I don't on a daily basis, but just something to keep in mind. So, by the way, ignore the stuff in the background here. That's what I got to work with. I tried to hang something for a background, but it wouldn't stay, so there we are. All right, so I'm going to start with the NYX Shine Killer. It eliminates the look of excess oil and shine, leaving skin looking matte and fresh all day. So I just put it, I'm very oily, so I put it in my T-zone here, my nose, my cheeks, my chin, and my forehead. And that just helps in areas that I get oily easily. You wouldn't necessarily need to do this if you have dry skin. You might want to do a hydrating primer, or you might not want to use a primer at all. Like I was saying, if you have dry skin, you might want to use a hydrating primer. If you have just kind of normal skin, you might not want to use a primer at all. I just find that it maybe helps things out a little bit, helps fill in the pores. If you're looking for a pore filler, which I sometimes use as well, NYX has a great pore filler. So now that the face is primed, today and on just an everyday basis, I usually use a BB cream. So I'm going to use the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. This is in the shade 510 Fair. This is for oily skin. Like I said, I have oily skin. This shade is actually a little dark for me generally. I think I can still pull it off, but if it's the dead of winter, this isn't going to cut it. And this is their lightest shade. So I just put some on my finger. If you see me looking off, I have a mirror here just so I can see what I'm doing. And I just kind of dab it randomly all over my forehead. And then I just take a dampened beauty blender. Use an actual beauty blender. I don't care what anyone says. Nothing matches Beauty Blender brand. None of the store, Target sponges or anything. So I use the butt end of it. It's kind of dirty, sorry. And I just dab it in. Make sure you get up into your hairline here, otherwise you'll have a line. And then another tip is when you are doing your cheeks, there's two tips with your cheeks. Don't forget to go back to your ear here. And then please, for the love of all things good in this world, blend it down your neck. I can't tell you how many people I see with a line right here. And their foundation is way too dark for their skin and you just look super ridiculous. So don't forget, blend down the neck and blend back to your ear. And, once again, over here, you're going to want to get into your hairline too. One other trick I have is always keep a hand towel with you. I buy cheap hand towels specifically to use when I'm doing my makeup. That way I can just wipe my hands off. If I have excess on a brush, I can wipe the product onto the towel, and I don't have to worry about staining a nice towel. Okay, so now that we have our face entirely covered in BB cream, we're going to go in with concealer. The amount of concealer you use and the places you put it depends on you. I put it under my eyes because I do kind of have darker under eyes, which is kind of hard to see in this light. And then I put it on my nose because my nose is very red. So for my under eyes, I use the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer. This is the shade, let me put it in a goofy spot, Porcelain. This is their lightest shade. So I just go up under the eye. Whoops. And then I use the narrower end of my Beauty Blender and I just blend it in. You can see I'm going down a little bit off to the side, and then I also put some on my eyelid just to cover, you know, if you have any really blue veins like I do, just covers them up. Again, this all comes down to personal preference. I'm just showing you what I do. All right, then for my concealer on my nose and cheeks, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild, let's see here, Photo Focus Concealer. This is in the shade Light Ivory. This one's just a little thicker, so it's better at covering my redness. And once again, I just use the Beauty Blender to blend that in. Now, one trick to help your makeup, one trick to make your makeup last longer is to set it. So for my under eyes, I use a setting powder. I like to use a loose powder, and this jar is all messy. I use the NYC Smooth Skin Loose Face Powder. This is in the shade Translucent. And I just like to use a small, this is actually a crease brush, but it's just what I like to use. So I just get a little bit, tap it off from the cap, and go right up under my eye. And then I also set my eyelid with this if I'm not going to be putting eyeshadow on, which for my everyday look, I generally don't wear eyeshadow. So it just helps set your concealer so it doesn't crease. And then, like I said, it'll last longer as well. All right. Then for my face, I like to use a pressed powder. So today I'm going to use the CoverGirl Clean Matte pressed powder. It's oil controlling. Mine is in the shade 510 Classic Ivory. And you can see it here. And then the brush I'm using is the e.l.f. Powder Blurring Brush. Sorry, all my brushes are in dire need of cleaning. But I just dab it. Make sure you get into this crease here on your nose. And just kind of out onto my cheeks. My actual nose. My chin. And upper lip. And my forehead. These are just areas on me that tend to get oily, so I want to give them some extra powder to set them. So now we are moving on to blush. And one of my favorite blushes is the Milani Baked Blush. This is in the shade Luminoso. It's a really pretty peachy orange color that I think just about any skin tone could pull off. If you have a very deep skin tone, maybe not. I don't really have a lot of experience, obviously, with deep skin tones. You can tell by looking at me. But for a brush, I'm using the Sigma Large Angled Contour Brush. It's the F40. And I just hit the apples of my cheeks and bring it back. Don't want too much. Don't want not enough. All right, then I do wear bronzer, but because I'm so fair, I don't want to get too crazy with it. So the bronzer I use, I'm about in need of a new one. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It's in the shade light bronzer, so it is light. And then I use a big fluffy brush to apply it. This is the Real Techniques powder brush. So I just swirl my brush in there and I get along my hairline. You kind of want to do places that would naturally be shadowed. And then I do kind of just on my cheeks, like under where I have my blush. And then just down the neck a little bit to blend everything together. Perfect. Now, for me, if I were to wear eyeshadow, this would be the point that I would apply it. I'm not going to wear eyeshadow because I generally don't on a daily basis. So now we are going to move on to eyelashes. So first I'm going to curl them. I just have an Ulta brand eyelash curler, and sorry, I really have to look in the mirror for this, so I don't, do what I just did and grab my eyelid. Getting real up close and personal here. I don't know if it's more effective to hold it and squeeze it or like pump it. I don't know. I like to pump it though. And then for mascara, this is my all-time favorite mascara in the whole wide world. Sorry, my lashes are kind of clumping together here because they do still have mascara left on them. But this is a Benefit Roller Lash. They say you don't need to curl your lashes with this, but I still do. So it's got a nice curved brush. So I use the inside of the curve for the original application. And this is not going to look as good as it usually does because I do still have a little bit of mascara on my lashes. I didn't get it all off, apparently. And yes, you have to apply mascara with your mouth open. It's like an unwritten rule. For people that don't wear mascara, look at the difference between my eyes right now. This one has mascara and this one doesn't. Wear mascara, it makes a difference. Oops. Got a clump. Got a couple little clumps, but whatever. You guys get the gist of it. Okay, then for brows, the first thing I do is comb them out with a spoolie brush, just so they are sitting where I would like them to end up sitting in the end, you know what I mean? I'm actually going to grab a hand mirror for this so I can see them. And then I prefer to do my brows with a pencil because I just think you get a more even fill in and it just looks better. But in the morning, often I don't have time, so I use the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. Mine is in the shade Blonde. So it just looks like a regular old mascara wand, except it obviously isn't black because I don't have black hair. And then you're just going to comb this through. Make sure you get everything filled in. And you should do lighter on the inside to darker at the end, which isn't super easy to do with this product, but just something for you to keep in mind. All right. Then I come back with the spoolie brush and just brush them out. That way, if you have any clumps of the product in there, it gets combed out and you can just make sure that everything is in place. Now, one of the best inventions ever, where is it? Is this product from e.l.f. It's a makeup remover pen, so it's like a felt tip marker with makeup remover in it. So if you have any areas that you need to clean up, you just use this, wipe it off on your towel, and you're good to go. These are seriously so awesome. All right, so once you have everything on your face, you're gonna wanna set your face. I use the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. This is oil-free, paraben-free, and has temperature-controlled technology. This is just gonna help for me to prevent me from getting super oily and having everything melt right off my face. There's different formulas available depending on your skin type, but obviously this is the one that I use. So you just close your eyes, mist, dry a little bit, and then I like to blot my lip balm off. I don't want to wipe it completely off, but I blot it just because it gets kind of chunky on your lips after it's sat. And then I'm just going to throw on some lip gloss. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach Creamy Peach Oil Lip Gloss. The shade name fell off, but it's the lightest shade. So just put that on. And voila, a super easy, simple, quick makeup look that you can do every day. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, click subscribe so you can be informed when I post a new video. If you guys have ideas for videos you'd like to see in the future, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you next time. Bye!